Hey guys, Courtney Epps here for another episode of Why You Would Be Brain Dead Not to Own a Home-Based Business. And I have Amarie with me here, and I'm just going to ask her if she can just share who she is, her background, and why she got involved in the network marketing industry.
Yes, I would love to. Courtney, thank you so much for having me. So fun. I always tell Courtney I'm one of her biggest fans, so it's kind of exciting to get to collaborate with her today. So my name's Amarie Whetten, and I live in Huntsville, Alabama. I had moved here from Tucson, Arizona about a year ago. And, I got involved in network marketing because I'm a chemical engineer, and I've been working for about 20 years in that industry, which I love. But I think really looking at like a plan B, when you just kind of stop and realize that you're kind of trading your time for money, but I wanted to build something for myself too. So while I'm working on, these big exciting contracts, at the end of the day, there's not really something left for you. But I came across network marketing actually because I had a physical problem. I had a health problem. And I was at church, and someone kind of pulled me aside, introduced themselves, and they invited me to a wellness presentation the following week. And when I heard about what this was, it just totally connected with the issues that I was having in my life and what I needed. And really, it was more the product that brought me into it, more than the actual concept of it. But my husband had started his own business about a year ago, and I helped him with a launch of that in financial services. And so I was familiar with the concept and really understood the tax piece of it. And so was really excited then as I found a product that I just fell in love with, and a group of people that just really spoke to me. What I did then was started my business, but already knowing the concepts of why would you start your own business from a tax standpoint. So if you're a W-2 earner like I am, but you have your own business, you can start writing off all of these things that you do anyway. My office space and the trips that I go on, my trips to the grocery store, my errands that now have a component to it related to my business, which is a lifestyle business. So that's really the kind of how and why I got into it.
That's awesome. And so what did you do before network marketing?
What did I do? What I still do. So I'm an engineer. So I'm still working in the industry full time. So I work during the day. I work a regular full-time work schedule, and on evenings and weekends, I grow my business and I grow my team.
Awesome. And, and that's the cool part. It's like people don't realize a lot of times that, I have people say all the time, well, I don't have enough money. I need to get a second job. No, you don't need to get a second job. You need to find a business, something that you're passionate about, and just open your mouth and start sharing that with people, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, and you do it on your own time. So if you are putting in 3 to 5 days a week, 45 minutes a day, then the IRS considers that you are attempting to earn an income. And by doing so, now you have access to massive tax deductions. So, I know that you are our client, and, for the last couple of years, and I met you at an event. I was actually speaking at an event last January with Lauren LaHave, right?
Yep, that's where in Vegas. Yeah, that's where we met each other at boot camp.
Yeah, back when Vegas was actually Vegas. It's completely different world. I just got back from Las Vegas yesterday morning. I was with Eric Worre recording an online course, and crazy, just the difference in what Las Vegas is today than it was last January. So, so tell me, how long have you been in the company now?
So 5 years. So for 5 years.
5 years.
I've been doing this. Mm-hmm.
I love it. And so you have not only, if you fell in love with the product, then you started falling in love with building a business, and then the tax deductions. Obviously, you know about the tax deduction. So share with us, we had this conversation a little bit before, what is it about what did you experience before coming to OTB Tax?
Okay, yes. I mean, that is a great question. And when I heard you speak, one of the things that I do in my team is I'm always training people on the tax advantages of it. And so I was so excited when I heard a woman speaking about it. I was like, yes, this is the best. And I remember coming up to you afterwards, I bought a case of your books because I was like, anyone who joins my business, this is part of the education that comes with it, is really understanding what this is. But our experiences before was that we're working with an accountant that knows we have a business, right? So they're charging, this is like pre-Courtney, they're charging us business rates to get our taxes done. So, I mean, like over $1,000 to get our taxes done on our W-2s plus our own businesses and some other investments that we have. And literally at the end of it, you're like, well, did they understand? You know, like we sent them all the write-offs. We kept track of all of them. We sent it to them, but it was unclear, like, did we get those deductions? We had our tax accountant retire. Another one came on and had just done our taxes. And that's when I had met you and just thought like, oh my, I would love for you to check this out, because it felt like we were missing out on this big thing. We got, we're planning to have this tax return. And, you know, sometimes when we're fantastic savers, but sometimes when you know you're going to get a tax return, you accidentally like spend it in advance. And so here we came out with like a deficit, right? Whereas like we owed like $8,000 or something that turned our world upside down, but it didn't feel right. And so I had you take a look at what was going on, and you're like, your accountant didn't write off anything. And
Right.
Here's all the stuff we gave him. And you're like, I don't know, he didn't write any of it off. Like, and so we kind of spent the time tracking all of our mileage and, you know, just keeping track of everything that we had going on. We had this kind of like perfect package ready for the right accountant to take it. And for whatever reason, this accountant just didn't know what to do with it, didn't understand how it all worked. And then when you took a look at it, I was like, yeah, see, I knew that we were right. You know, I knew we had it. And so what you did really was working with you. We got to write off all of those things that we had been keeping track of. You helped give us some great ideas about really like putting other, you know, kind of our family members to work by getting them like officially on the payroll, and just really looking for some other places that we could really hone our business to do that. And so so this is both my husband and I have businesses at home. So you helped us with both of our business, and basically the turnaround was the recovery. So we kind of, you know, when you have this unexpected $8,000 bill, you literally spend the year kind of being like, yes. Okay, well, no, I'm sorry, we can't go out to eat that vacation. Yeah. So we went from that state to being like, okay, like we got this. We feel like we're ahead. We got to see the benefits of all the track that we were keeping and the home-based business that we had. So I was so excited about it. I was telling everybody on my team, like, okay, whatever you're doing, like, stop doing that. You have to check this out. I just want you to check out Courtney. I want you to check out her process, and really the learning that comes with it. I think the education that you provide has been huge too, through your book, through your webinars. And then, I mean, we get to actually, I think you kind of think like, I don't know how Courtney actually interacts with you must have a huge clientele. So I don't know how you interact with everybody, but I feel like we have had a personal relationship throughout this whole entire experience. And I don't know how you do it. I don't want to know, but
we have several thousand. Yeah, we have over 2,500 clients now, and it is super crazy. And that's the one thing a lot of people don't realize. You know, sometimes it takes us a little bit longer, and the reason why is that I don't allow a single tax return to go out of our office without me reviewing every single one. So, like here, this is my weekend. Let me show you this. These are the tax returns that I have to review this weekend. So
my amendment is in there from the year that 2 years I fixed mine before that.
I know that it is.
Up, so it's in that pile someplace.
Yes, it is.
This year already. So this is just going back and fixing the fix.
Yes. And that's the thing. It's like we're not trying to prepare a tax return, and we're trying to find money. And that is the complete difference. It's like I'll go through a return, and you know what people don't really understand is, why isn't my accountant telling me these things? Well, one, your accountant did not have any sort of tax strategy in college, and there's no continuing education class to teach tax strategy. So it's something you learn. Like the reason why I understand network marketing industry is because I was in it for 3.5 years. Like I built a business for 3.5 years. And so I get like sitting in a coffee shop and having a conversation with somebody. I get the reason why you go anywhere is to have a conversation with someone to build your business. And so accountants don't understand that. They don't work that way. And, having that understanding of why don't accountants get it, a lot of times the actual person that you're having a conversation with, the accountant who you think is doing the work, they're not, and they're not even reviewing the work. They're just sending it to someone. And that has been a problem. For us, I literally hired one CPA to work for me, and she worked for about 2.5 months, and there was 25 tax returns that she ended up doing and preparing. 18 years experience, had a work for a CPA firm, still works there, had 11 employees that works for her, and every single tax return, I think there was 25 that I didn't have a chance to review, they were all wrong. And I had to go back and fix every single one of them. And so I learned my lesson, in that time frame, that, accountants are not created equal, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just they're not taught the same information. And then when you're dealing with someone who's a W-2 employee, they don't understand that as a network marketer, you can write off, I'm a speaker, so I can write off my hair, and I need to get my hair done. I can write off my hair and my nails and my makeup and my clothes that I wear from stage. And network marketers can do the same thing if they're actually speaking from stage or speaking on social media. And, you've got access to business use of your home. Well, whereas a W-2 employee doesn't necessarily get that. They don't comprehend the fact that the things that they're spending money on are living expenses, and the things that we are spending money on as business owners are business expenses, but they're the same expenses. Cell phone, meals, mileage, internet, travel, hiring your kids, all of those are now tax deductions. So I think that's the major disconnect, and the problem with people is that they just truly don't comprehend the network marketing industry, and then they don't understand strategy. And then you have a W-2 employee who is filing a tax return when they don't know any better. Like, they don't know what is a tax deduction or is not.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's so true. And, some of the examples that I come up in my lifestyle, like a wellness business. So first of all, my product,
Yes.
fruits and vegetables and capital, one of the things I do like that is part of the brand, right? So I write off all of the product that I'm using because it's part of what I'm doing. And so I go to a gym on a regular basis because it's health, wellness, lifestyle. And so I have a personal trainer that I work with, and I'm posting on Facebook part of these lifestyle pieces of it. So that's a huge one. And, a lot of learning, well, if you're going to go on this trip, but you're going with the intent to do business while you're there, you come up with the documentation about how you set up a business appointment in the destination that you're going to. That's related to your business, then the travel to and from that location is a business engagement, which, a lot of that we can incorporate into, if we have it doesn't work during COVID, going on a family vacation right off because you can't meet with anybody, but pre that, we would have the opportunity to, go to San Diego, have a business meeting with someone on my team or a potential on my team, and then write off the travel back and forth between that, and then that day. So then the rest of the time of the vacation, we didn't write off that second part of it, but it made for a huge savings and things that we were going to do anyway, just having some strategy around the approach to that. And that's a huge difference.
Yes. And the great part about that is if you hire your kids, then your kids' travel can be tax deductible. So one of the things, and I don't say it very often, but if you are traveling to, let's say you do go to San Francisco or San Diego or wherever you want to go, as long as you're spending more than 50% of your time on working, then you can actually write off the entire trip. So if you were gone for 10 days and you spend 5 of those days, 8-hour days, not like 24-hour days, 8-hour days, you're spending that working your business, then the entire 10 days can be a tax deduction as long as you're in the United States. If you are, or you could do 4 hours and 1 minute a day, every day. So, and then you've got the travel days that are also allowed. So you've got a travel day the day you're on the road. So if you're on the road 2 or 3 different days, then it doesn't matter what you do the rest of those days, as long as you're traveling, then that is all considered 100% tax deductible. And then the dates that you're there, that if you're spending more than 4 hours and 1 minute each day, or if you're spending more than 50% of your time on an 8-hour day, doing the work, then it's 100% tax deductible.
Okay, so that's good to know. So if we go to the beach, for example, from here, we go to the Florida beach, if I spend 4 hours a day during that trip, so travel days and then 4 hours a day on that trip, even though I'm working virtually because you can't meet people in person, then I could write off the entire trip. Okay.
Exactly. And then if you're providing, lifestyle videos and stuff like that, because you're going to the beach and you're sharing that with people, then that's also marketing and advertising.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we'll need to go back to the beach then, and take better advantage of that.
Exactly. I mean, and that, there's oftentimes that I forget, like I've forgotten to tell people that because it's been so long since I've even thought about it. A lot of the things that I do, they're second nature by now. And then I go back and I'll listen to something and I'm like, man, I should be sharing that with people. If you go out to eat, with your spouse and your children, and the person that you're with it has their spouse and children, you can write off 50% of all of the meal instead of just writing off 50% of your meal. So, but if your children work for you and you're taking them with you out of town, then obviously you've got their travel that you can write off. You've got per diem that you can actually write off for meals, which is $55 a day, which is a huge deal. So the travel meals are outside of 150 miles from your home. And then on top of that, you're paying them to work for you, but you're going to give them money anyway. So you pay them, and then now you can save money on the taxes on the amount of money you pay them. So you can pay your children up to $12,000 a year, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. And there are no taxes for them as well if they're under the age of 18. So huge deal. No FICA, no federal, no state, no unemployment taxes. I mean, it's just crazy. That is called income shifting. And you can shift your income off to your children. So the more children you have, the better you can benefit from that. And then adding things like fringe benefits. So we have a swimming pool. So that swimming pool is a fringe benefit. We allow our employees to swim in that swimming pool. And because it's connected to our property, because we have a home-based business, right? We have a nanny that works for us full-time, that works in our home, and we have all of our kids who are employees, and we allow them to swim in our swimming pool. And because of that, that's 100% tax deductible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. Yeah, I love that. Mm-hmm.
There's just so much. So tell me like I have a favorite tax deduction. I think mine is continuing education. So tell me what your favorite tax deduction is.
Well, so my favorite tax deduction, I think, is the product part of it. So a lot of times where I have some new partners that join my business, and they're like, well, how much does the product cost? And I'm like, well, really, if you have a business and you write it off, your product is free, because even if you are just writing off basic stuff, you still come out ahead. If you do to keep track of what you're doing, you get to take it. You get to take it for free. You get to use it for free, and then as you build your business, you get to make money back. So that's my favorite write-off, is the product itself.
I love it. And see, that's what people don't understand, that the minute that you decide to join a network marketing business. Now, I will tell you that I'm not involved in network marketing at all. I was involved in network marketing. I love the network marketing industry. I'm a huge advocate for it. But what I want you to understand is that the minute that you decide to become a business owner, whether that is network marketing, whether that is affiliate marketing, home-based business, whatever, I don't care what it is, you find something that you're passionate about and you're attempting to earn an income, meaning that you're opening your mouth and sharing with someone what you're doing. The minute that happens, you buy your product, you have a cell phone, you have internet, you have a vehicle, all of the things that you were spending money on yesterday, today become a tax deduction for you as a business owner. And so what I typically find is that the average person is going to save $4,000 to $8,000 a year by going from being just a W-2 employee to a W-2 employee with a home-based business. And why that's important is that 46% of Americans before the pandemic had $400 to their name. And 69% of Americans had an extra $1,000 to their name. So it is a requirement to me at this point for people who are in network marketing to go out and just share a way for someone to have a business opportunity that they can work from home. That's a low cost to get started. There's no education requirements. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. Like none of that matters. It doesn't matter what your sex, whether you're female, male, whatever. None of that stuff matters in the network marketing industry. So, share with me, what you saw. I mean, I know that you love network marketing. Why do you feel like it's a great opportunity for other people to get involved in?
I think one of the things, so we use it to supplement our income, to kind of add to it. I think what we looked at was our retirement goals through really my husband's business. Like, when did we want to retire? How could we expedite that? And I think one of the things is just people learning to have an extra $200, $500 a month changes people's lives. And that is the part that's crazy. I mean, people get divorced over $500 a month. And I think one of the things was just this realization, like, hey, you could show people who feel like they're kind of trapped in this confined space, for a couple hours a week, 45 minutes a day, you could start bringing in $200, $500, additional income and just supplement the lifestyle that you have right now. So what I would say that part of what has just been super valuable about having that is it helps you sort of do this like dream again, where you feel like this life that you're at is just where you're at, and that's the only thing that's going to be doing. And it just opens up this aperture to this new life. I mean, you get to see these public speakers and Lauren, I think, is an example, right? You just get to go to these places and do these leadership retreats that have a different kind of energy to them and a different wall of energy to them.
Yes.
That just really, I think that really just makes the rest of my life feel like it has a different level of energy.
Yes. The personal growth and development by far is, one of the most amazing parts of the network marketing industry. But then you also have, because of the way the structure works, you have to help people be successful in order for you to be successful. So it attracts a certain type of people that really want to help other people. Now, I'm not going to say that there's not bad people in every single industry in the world, but you will not find another accounting firm that is willing to step in and say, hey, Courtney, let me teach you everything I know. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to teach another accountant and say, hey, why don't you come on in? Let me teach you everything I know so that you can then go and take my clients. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen. But in the network marketing industry, that's actually how you become more successful, is that you're just teaching people how to do what you did in order for them to be successful, so that you in turn make more money. Yeah.
And I think you hit it on the head, right? This just the opportunity to like love on, because I love to love on other people anyway, but it's amazing to like love on other people and also make them $1,000 a month.
Yes.
Right?
I love it. Oh, where'd you go? Amarie?
Lifestyle changing, and you get to see what's happening in their household and lives because of this. So I think that is huge, and that has to be my favorite part of the business, is this network that you create. Because the job that I had as an engineer, when I graduated, and unfortunately still 20 years ago when I graduated, there was only 20% women in engineering, and flash forward 20 years, there's only 21.5% engineers. There are not a lot of women in engineering, and you feel a little bit isolated around that when you're just surrounded by this. And so I feel like almost the second chance, where I still have my daytime engineering job, which I've invested a lot in, and I really know a lot about what I'm doing there. But then I get to love on mostly these like women, primarily is who's attracted to what I'm doing. I get to love on them and be part of like this whole women's network group. And that has been super special. I feel like I've always kind of been pursuing within my engineering. I was always in pursuit of like the women's network there. And I feel like what I've taken is my love of that and turned it into kind of a different way of creating a women's network and a lifestyle, and all of us growing together, getting feedback constantly, like, how's this going? What's going on with this? So I love that part of it. Just feeling like you're part of something.
Yeah, and the cool part about it is that is all tax deductible as well. So, I tell people all the time, I'm like, the only friends that I have, they're in the network marketing industry or they're my clients, because everything that I do with them can become a tax deduction. I mean, it just makes so much more sense for you to work alongside the people that you want to spend time with. And then everything that you do together can become a tax deduction instead of going on a vacation and hanging out with people you may or may not necessarily want to hang out with. You can go to retreats and you can go to continuing education events, and you could go to Hawaii together, if you put together an event, and you can not only build a business together, but you can have a lot of fun together, and it becomes a tax deduction. So just what you said, being able to provide money, an extra $200 to $500 a month could change everything. And in 2008, and I know it's coming now, in 2008, an extra $300 a month would have allowed 75% of the people that foreclosed on their homes not to lose their homes. And the cool part about that is that let me step back. The cool part is you can free up that money because you actually have the money. The sad part is people just don't know. And so they had the extra money. They were just overpaying it in taxes. And so by being involved in the network marketing industry, you have the ability to save $400 to $800 a month in taxes, depending on your tax bracket. $400 to $800 a month just in taxes. You would have to make $900 to $1,300 a month to be equivalent to the tax savings extra. So you'd have to make $900 to $1,300 a month extra dollars, which is $4.50 to $6.50 an hour on top of what you're currently making, in order to benefit from the same benefit that you would get from having a home-based business. And that's just so crazy, mind-blowing to me, because on top of that, if I can save $400 to $800 a month and make an additional $200 to $500 a month in income, that shifts people for their lifetime. That shifts them completely. That puts them into a whole nother realm of allowing them to have access to be able to go on family vacations, to be able to give more, to be able to have more in their life, to be able to live more at the end of the day, and not stress out over bills and just living to pay, paycheck to paycheck to pay their bills.
That's so true. I mean, it's the thing, whatever you're stressed out about in your life, you're probably $400 to $800 away from alleviating that stress. And sometimes it's saving for college, right? So for us, it was like, oh, how are we that's what initially spurred us to start businesses, because we're like, I don't know if we've saved enough for college. We have 4 kids. How are we going to do that? We got caught up in the, when we had the recession, and then we lost a bunch of money on our house, and we just thought, how are we going to ever get this back and be in a position so that all these kids can go to school and not feel like that was going to hold them back. And so that, once we started a business, just like, it feels like that too, how you describe it. It's like immediately it's there. So even if you're not making money right away in your business, if you have a tax strategy, you in fact are, right? So right away, I got education, so I was able to change my W-2 withhold immediately and have that money go into my pocket, from the get-go, versus waiting an entire cycle, right? Waiting an entire year, and then feeling it. So I saw it right away, which was great from just having some education, which is all like, really, sometimes people just don't have any idea.
Yes.
Possibility.
And I'll tell you, I had somebody today, I did a tax strategy session for someone. One of my staff members was out, and I typically don't handle clients that make under $100,000 anymore. And so I was having this conversation with her, and she's like, yeah, I'm making $500 a month in network marketing. And she's like, how much money should I put away as far as taxes? And I said, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to have to put money away. You're going to have enough losses on paper to not have to pay taxes on the $500. But if you made $500 extra a month, you would need to put 35% of that away if you were a W-2 employee. Right. And that's what people don't understand. It's like, it's the difference in making $1. If I took $1 and you doubled that dollar every year for the next 20 years, it would be worth $1 million. But if you pay taxes on that same dollar, the first year is only worth $1.65 because you got to pay taxes. You got to pay 35% in taxes. The same dollar doubled, adding in the taxes of 35%, which is on average of what people pay in the United States of America as far as W-2 employees. It's only $23,000 in 20 years.
Wow.
So when you understand that, like, the most important thing, guys, that you can spend your money on is strategy, is understanding how to lower your taxes to them as low as possible, legally, morally, and ethically. Obviously, we're not talking about anything that's shady or a gray area here. But the way to do that is to have some sort of home-based business. And the reason why is because you shift over into the second tax system, which was created to provide wealth for you. That is the business owner tax system. And if you don't understand it, why it happens, somebody has to pay taxes. Business owners create wealth. They're creating the economy constantly. We're constantly selling and generating economy, and we're constantly spending money to develop more economy. And then we intend to hire employees. After we get bigger and bigger and bigger, we hire employees. So someone has to pay the taxes. And so what Congress and the IRS does is they allow us to save money in taxes by hiring people and by generating economy. And when you understand that, it makes total sense that a W-2 employee is going to pay more in taxes throughout their lifetime than business owners will. Because if you combine food, clothing, housing, and transportation combined, those four things, you'll pay more in taxes as a W-2 employee than you will on those four things. And so when you understand that, you've got to figure out a way to lower your taxes. Well, as a W-2 employee, you get no benefits. There's nothing virtually other than an itemized deduction that you can really take advantage of. But as a business owner, you get so many tax deductions on things you're already currently spending money on. And, tell me, one, how much did it cost to get started in the business that you're in?
$50 a year.
Literally. Exactly.
$50 a year. And then all of a sudden, like, as soon as you pay in this fee, you become a partner, and then you can start tax write-ups, etc. And one of the things about it too is right away within the first month of just talking to like 3 of my friends, I already got the $50 back as a bonus. So free. It costs nothing to start. Yeah.
And the $50, if you spend it, it's a tax deduction. So it's really more like $30 because you saved 40% in taxes. Now, in order for you to be successful, obviously you had to learn some information. You went to events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I went to events, education. So I looked for personal development opportunity. I read books, so I like to deep dive in things really quick. So Eric Worre, who you just got to spend a week with, was kind of one of my first, kind of the first Bible, right? Where I was like, okay, what is this? How does this work? And just really looking for any opportunity to watch virtual events or videos of people who had done what I was trying to do before me. And so anytime I had a spare moment, I would watch the events. I bought a lot of books, listed a lot of books on tape, and Audible, I guess now. And had just the chance to educate myself, in ways that were easy for me to do some education in.
So one of the biggest myths when you become a business owner is it costs a lot of money in order to become a business owner. So that doesn't sound like the case in network marketing.
Yeah, it really didn't. I think that as we got into it from a network marketing standpoint, when I would go to events, I would probably fly someplace on a trip with maybe 3 educational events per year. And when I went with my best friends, right? So it was kind of like girls' weekend in Vegas at a training, which was fun anyway. I mean, it's a great way to, it's a great way to get to see your friends. And then I think from online, like all of the online training that I got was free. I mean, it was just something the company provided or other network marketers were providing free content or very low cost content, $20 for year membership to keep track of everything they were doing. So very low cost entry, definitely.
And that's the cool part, guys. So it's just I want to impact people and help them understand the myths that they have been told, especially about the network marketing industry, but as well as for business in general. So, network marketing is an amazing, viable opportunity that if you take advantage of it, can not only save you thousands and thousands of dollars a year in taxes, but can also completely and utterly change your life if you allow that to happen. So, and that's how I met you. Like I was, I speak from the network marketing industry and I love it. Like I love being a part of it. The great thing is now I get to help everybody in the entire network marketing industry. Otherwise, I would be in network marketing. I can tell you one thing. Instead of having 25 employees, instead of having a 6,000 square foot facility, instead of having all these tax documents to sit and review all weekend, it would be a lot easier for me to just run my mouth and have conversations with people and have them join network marketing. When people tell me that network marketing is hard, and I'm like, you have never done a tax return. Like you have never had a tax strategy session with someone. You don't know what's hard. But I think one of the biggest things that people get involved in network marketing and they think immediately, like they're supposed to make all this money immediately. And so, share that because I think that's people quit long before they ever even allow themselves a chance to be successful because they've got to learn the information in order to go out and make more money.
Yeah, Courtney, I love that question. That's such a good question because it's coming into it, slow and steady wins the race. I say 5 years that I've been into it, working, spare moments, weekends. I've had times during my engineering career where I was working 60-hour weeks and also keeping my business going. And last month I had the biggest network marketing paycheck of my life, right? So I'm getting up there to some dollars that you're kind of like, oh, this can't be right. Like, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe that this is what I make. But over time, you just keep building and building and building on what you're learning and the relationships and the people that I bring in to be part of my team, and it builds over time. But I agree with you where if people are like, oh, in my first 6 months, if I wasn't making $1,000 a month, then I like what I did was the only way that you can lose is if you quit. Right. Yeah. And you see kind of people, maybe they'll jump around to different things. Every time you jump around to a thing, you kind of have to start over. So I kind of came with the, stay with your thing, build your presence, build your business that way. And over time, it just continues to accumulate and be there. And then I learn a lot too. I think, I think taxes are a great example of the insight that you gave about like, oh, hey, I could go on a trip to the beach. And if I do this, there's little tidbits like that everywhere, all these different pieces of how to run a business better that I can learn from some other leaders. And the more I learn, I become more efficient. I figure out how to use my time better and how to use technology better. During the virtual world, when we all kind of went virtual over time, a lot of my business was done in people's kitchens, having people over doing live events. But having the opportunity to pivot virtually actually opened my eyes because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. I am spending less time driving around and like I can just get me in my pajamas and put some lipstick on and have an interaction with a couple of people or make more phone calls. And so I thought that opportunity that Corona did to maybe have a lockdown and interact with people in a different way was actually really give me a chance to learn some new skills and then use the skills that I had sort of accidentally built along the way that turned out to be really valuable in this time frame.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I'm so grateful for the network marketing industry because I built my company based upon network marketers. So I've got clients all over the country. None of them come to my office. It's so funny. Like sometimes people will call here locally and they're like, I'm supposed to be coming in for my tax strategy session. We're like, no, you're not. Like, you're not allowed here. It's not that we don't want you here, but we are trying to be as efficient as humanly possible. And, sometimes when you're doing stuff online, you are limited to that 30-minute or 45-minute window, and you're actually talking about what matters. And so, but we didn't have to shut down our business. Like, I mean, I'm so grateful that we worked the way that we did because we never missed a beat. Like, we sent our staff home for a week. The whole entire state of South Carolina was shut down for 18 days. but the businesses never shut down. It was only retail stores and hair salons. So, we have a little different perspective of how this all worked, but it's so great because in network marketing, you could go to Hawaii or Utah or to Florida and you can build a business, because here's the thing. If I'm a landscaper, or just say I'm an accountant, if I'm an accountant and I don't work with network marketers, there's no reason for me to go to Florida to try to find a client, because typically you're not going to work with a client in that state. But if you're a network marketer and you want to go to Florida, well, you need to go build a team in Florida. You need to find somebody in Florida that you can start a team with, or that you can start offering product to or service to. And now you have a team in Florida and have a reason to go to Florida. Yeah. It works perfectly with this whole lifestyle that we want to create for ourselves. So tell me, and I'm sure we could go on for days and have conversations, but I know it's Friday night, and I've got to get back to these taxes, and I'm sure
right. you have that pile that you need to get to.
Yes. So, and my husband and my kids are going to go ride ATVs tomorrow, and I'm like, well, gosh, I'm gonna have to sit here and do tax returns, but that's okay. We got one more weekend. This is the last weekend, so the 15th will be the deadline. So tell me, just kind of, if you want to share like last thoughts of, somebody who's on the fence or someone who's been told that the network marketing industry is not legitimate, what would you share with them?
Mm-hmm. So I think if I was someone who was on the fence, I would say you really have nothing to lose, right? It's a tiny initial investment to get started, and you can try it and learn some new skills and find out, lock arms with someone that would be happy to teach you some of the ropes. And I think the other thing that I would also leave people with is that it makes a huge difference what kind of accountant you have. I mean, it's the difference between, for us, it was literally the difference between $8,000, which is a total game changer on your life, and being able to live a normal year by picking the right accountant. And part of what I do when I have people that come into my business, part of my education for them is the savvy business side of it. And definitely it's been a huge resource to me to be able to refer people on my team to kind of be like, hey, Courtney's going to set this up for you. And then they get to see the benefits of it instead of kind of taking my word for, like, I'm going to wait a year, taking my word for the advantages of having a home-based business. And I love it how you explained it. W-2 earners are paying the taxes for all of the people who started the business before. But if you want to get out of that loop and into the part where we get the tax write-offs, like, hey, that's the place to be, is in network marketing. It's so fun. It's just fun to be able to build relationships.
It is. So I'm so thankful for you as a client. One of the things I do want to share with everybody, and I don't typically get to tell my clients thank you a lot because we're talking about taxes constantly. But one of the things that we do in our accounting firm is that for every dollar that comes in our accounting firm, we provide nutrition, whole food, plant-based nutrition to children in need through a nonprofit called Manna Relief. And then, so for every dollar that you give us, we're providing that nourishment. And then we just added recently that we're providing safe drinking water to children in need, or actually people in need in the country of Liberia. And so we're working towards ending the water crisis that's in Liberia, and that will end by the end of this year. So we're being a part of that. So, when we prepare a tax return for you, let's say it's $600 for a personal tax return with a business, then not only are you providing nourishment to 600 children, you are providing safe drinking water to 4 people for the next 15 years. And then on top of that, you are helping us put a dent in eradicating childhood sex trafficking through a nonprofit called Operation Underground Railroad. Because for every dollar we provide a nourishment, for every $150 we provide someone with fresh drinking water, and then for every $25,000 we actually free a child from sex trafficking. So I appreciate you for helping us do that, because we're saving you money, and that's my main goal, is to free up money. But I also want to teach more people how to have more so that they can live more, but then ultimately so that we can all give more. And when you give more, it changes the trajectory of your entire business. And that's what I truly believe has grown our business 20 times, in the last 2 years. And then in turn, I can then nourish more. I can feed more children. I can provide safe drinking water for more children, and then I can free more children. So that makes me happy. So I appreciate you so much for being.
I got chills when you were talking about that. I had goosebumps all over. So I love that.
Well, thank you so much. And I appreciate you being on here and listening and being a part of what we're doing and being a client for OTB Tax.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to see you.
All right, guys, this is another episode of What's Your Plan B? Why you'd be brain dead not on a home-based business. Go out and find something you're passionate about. Share that with people so that you can have more, live more, then give more. So have a great day and happy Friday.